Hello viewers, so welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. Last video I have explained you about EOQ, the assumptions of EOQ, formula of EOQ and finding the EOQ in a tabular form. And apart from that, stock levels, maximum level, minimum level, reorder level, average stock level, all these things I have explained. Actually, there are different techniques of inventory management. Two techniques we have so far completed, that is EOQ technique and stock levels technique. Now in this video, this is the last video on inventory management. The remaining four techniques I am going to explain in this video. And remember, this theory is very, very important. You must have the patience, you must have an interest to learn. Then only you can be able to remember all these points and write in examination. Very frequently you will get a theory question in examination regarding EOQ, regarding stock levels. And in this video, four more techniques. The techniques are ABC techniques and JIT techniques, VED technique, and lastly FSN technique. These four techniques I'm going to explain in this video, so watch the video till the end, don't skip in between. So before starting the explanation, take the screenshot of the points which I have written on the board, then I'll explain all the points in detail. Now, the first technique is ABC analysis. See here, from management point of view, it is required that all inventory items should be managed, controlled. So every item of inventory should be controlled. There should neither be excessive inventory nor there should be shortage of inventory, all the inventory items. But according to experience, according to practice, many organizations have seen that all the items of the inventory are not equally important. Some items are more important than some other items. That means according to importance, we can divide the inventory items. Suppose in an organization, 1000 different type of items are there. All the items are not equally important. So we can segregate, we can classify the items according to their value. So normally, practically, it is seen that approximately 5 to 10% of the items have 70% of values. Items are only 5 to 10% of the total number of items, but their value is ranging up to 70 to 75%. So few items are there, but the value is huge. Similarly, some items are there whose items are approximately 20 to 25% items. So 20 to 25% items are there whose value is also around 15 to 20%. These will be categorized as B item. And the remaining items, and 70% of items are those items whose value is only 5 to 10%. That means majority of items are those items whose quantity is more, but the value is very less. We categorize into C items. So according to ABC analysis, all the items are classified according to their value. So costly items whose value is more but the quantity is less will be categorized as A category item. B category items are those items whose quantity and value are more or less equal. This will be categorized as B category. And the third class, the remaining items, that means large quantity, bulk quantity of items are there whose value is very less. That means 70% of item or 60% of items are there. If we compare it with value, the value is only 5% of the total value of inventory. This we classify as C category. So this analysis of dividing all inventory items according to their value is called ABC analysis. A category items should be controlled strictly because it's the costlier items. B category items are moderate items, so moderate control is enough. C category items are those items whose quantity is very large but the value is less. So little control will be sufficient. So here I have explained ABC. Efficient storekeeping requires sufficient control over all items of stores. However, greater care is necessary in case of costlier items. More control for costlier items. So here A category. Briefly, the characteristic features of A category items. So A category items around 10% of the total items. The total items of the inventory, only 10% of items we can put it under A, and about 70% of the total value. Quantity wise only 10%, but value wise it is around 70% of the value. Less quantity, more value. Strict control. The nature of control to be applied on A category items, very strict control because costlier items. Then highly important. From management point of view, this inventory A category items are very important. The next one, weekly reports to be prepared. If we find out the reporting of these inventory items, every week reports should be prepared about the movement of A category items. Then lastly, centralized purchasing. Because the inventories are costly items, so only centralized purchasing, only one purchasing department should purchase all the inventory items of A. Now B category items, around 15 to 20% of total items quantity. If we compare the quantity, 15 to 20% items are there which can be categorized as B category. About 25% of the total value. Just now I told you B category items are those items whose quantity and value more or less same. So 15 to 20%, 25% of the value, moderate control. Here it is strict control. A category item, very strict control. B category, moderate control. Moderately important, not highly important. A category items are very important, but B category, moderate. Then monthly report can be prepared. Because the cost is not as high as A. For A category item, weekly report should be prepared, but for B category item, monthly report will be sufficient. Then purchasing may be centralized or may be decentralized depending on the situation. Not compulsorily to be centralized or completely to be decentralized. So we can have any type of purchasing, centralized or decentralized. This is regarding B category. Now next category is C category item. Around 70% of the items quantity. If we compare the quantities, 70% of items will come under C category item whose value is only about 10%. The value of the item is only 10%, but the quantity is huge, 70% of items. Now normal control can be applied. Neither strict nor moderate, only normal, least control can be applied on these items. Low importance can be given. Here high importance, here moderate importance, here we can give low importance. Then half yearly report are enough. Here weekly report are necessary for A category, monthly report are required for B category, but here it is half yearly. Every 6 months we can make the report for C category item. Then decentralized purchasing. Not necessarily that purchasing should be centralized. Because it is a low cost items, decentralized purchasing can be made. So these are the points you have to remember. In examination they will ask you explain about ABC analysis. Now the significance of this analysis is that very close control is to be exercised on A category items, costly items. Strict control should be applied. Less stringent control is adequate for B category items. Less stringent control means a moderate control is sufficient for B category, and minimal control would suffice for C category items. Because C category items are cheap items, low value items. So low value items, only small least control is sufficient. That's all. So I have completed ABC analysis. The next technique, which is a very unique technique of inventory management, is JIT. JIT stands for just in time. Actually, this technique is a Japanese approach. In Japan, they have developed this method where inventory will not be held. So inventory will be purchased as and when needed. So they will not hold the inventory. When the inventory is required, immediately they will purchase and consume it. So they will not hold the inventory. So just in time means we purchase the inventory when it is needed. We are not going to hold the inventory in the stores. So there are advantages as well as disadvantages of this JIT. The most important advantage is we do not require any carrying cost. No money is blocked. No deterioration. No pilferage. So no problems arising of carrying the inventory. But the disadvantage is, suppose if the supplier fails to supply the goods on time when it is needed, then production will be stopped. When production is stopped, we cannot be able to deliver the goods to the customer. We will lose the income. Apart from that, the business will lose its reputation. So, if the business is 100% sure that there won't be any delay in procuring the inventory, procuring the raw material, in that case they can follow JIT. But if the business is finding the risk that we may not be able to get, sometimes we may be unable to get the material from the supplier, then it will be a huge problem. The business will face a huge risk of not getting the material on time. So that is JIT. So JIT stands for just in time. As per the JIT, an organization plan its production process in such a way that material required arrive just at the time they are needed. So business will make the plan in such a way, they will make the production plan in such a way that material will be purchased whenever it is needed, not before. Now, there is no need to store the inventory. In JIT system, no store department is there, no store keeper is there, no material is held. Then JIT reduces carrying cost. When we are not holding, no carrying cost. JIT also speeds up production process. And then JIT results in low inventory levels, increase in efficiency, significant cost saving. However, following JIT is a big risk. Many advantages are there, but also it will have their own limitation, disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? It will carry a huge risk. Then if supplier fails to deliver on time, then production plan will be disturbed. This will not only leads to loss of business, it also results in loss of reputation. Ultimately depends on the supplier. If the suppliers are prompt, there is no excuse on the part of the supplier, then it's okay. But suppose if the supplier fails to supply on time, the business will lose its reputation. That is the problem with JIT. Next technique is VED. VED, the full form is vital, essential and desirable. So we classify all the items into three categories, just like ABC. Here we classify according to vital, essential and desirable. So what are vital items? Vital, the items whose non-availability makes the process completely inoperative. Those items which are essential, critical, without that production will be completely stopped. A huge loss will be incurred if we do not have those items. Complete system will collapse. So those items are called vital items. Strict control should be applied on these vital items because non-availability will incur huge loss. Next comes essential items. Essential items, their non-availability may represent a temporary loss in production. So essential items are those items whose importance is not as that of vital, but it is lower importance. That means the business will incur small loss if there is non-availability of essential items. The third one is desirable. Desirable items are those shortages causes only a minor disruption for a short period. The loss is not so high. That means the desirable items are those items, if there is a non-availability, shortage of those items, a small loss the business will bear, not huge loss. So what I want to say is, ABC analysis classify the inventory according to value, according to its value, whereas VED classifies the inventory according to the importance, which is more important, which is less important, which is least important. Then third, last one, FSN analysis. The meaning of this FSN is fast moving. F stands for fast moving, S stands for slow moving, and N stands for non-moving items. So this FSN analysis has classified the inventory according to the movement, not according to the value, not according to the importance, but according to the movement, how the inventory is moving for production, right? So fast moving, slow moving, and non-moving. FSN analysis helps to organization identification of the item whose stocks are higher compared to the rate of consumption. So what is the rate of consumption? If the rate of consumption is very high, we categorize it as fast moving item. Then the non-moving items are those whose consumption is insignificant. The consumption is insignificant means very rarely it will be used. There is not much movement of these non-moving items. Then FSN analysis helps the management to determine whether such items can be used elsewhere or it should be disposed of. If non-moving items are there, the management will take the decision, can we be able to use this items in any other production process, or should we dispose of these non-moving items. So FSN analysis also helps the stores manager in arrangement of stocks in stores and the distribution and handling methods. So not only in controlling the inventory items, but also in storing and handling the items, FSN is very important for the storekeeper. By following this carefully, he can handle, he can sort out the inventory. That's all. This is the end of the complete theoretical part of inventory management. Next video, I'm going to start the problems on this working capital management. So far, I have prepared one video on working capital. What is working capital? What are the operating cycle or working capital cycle? What are the factors determining the working capital? What are the methods of estimating the working capital requirement? One video. Next video I have given for cash management. What is the importance of cash? What are the techniques of managing the cash? What are the cash management models? One video is there. Next video I have given for receivables management. What is receivables management? How to evaluate the credit policies, aging schedule. All these things, one video I have given receivables management. And for inventory management, 3 videos I have prepared. So if you want the perfect knowledge, watch all the videos, have some patience, listen with full concentration, and note down the points what I am explaining here. Then only you can get the complete command on the subject. Inshallah, we will continue the problems in the next video.